So we will, since this is our last one of the year, we'll process 2020 and set intentions, new intentions for next year.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we'll start seated. Oh, I forgot to grab my glass of water. So go ahead and get settled. Good cat. And we'll roll the shoulders. And maybe roll the neck or the wrist. Just some nice little stretches. And then let's close the eyes. And we'll turn the palms up facing the sky, resting your hands onto your lap. And just take a few, 2 or 3 breaths to settle. Using those couple of inhales to grow tall and the exhales to soften somewhere in the body, the shoulders or the face. Unlocking your jaw and letting your tongue be heavy. And grounding downward into your mat or whatever surface you're on. And stretching and reaching the crown of your head upward to the sky. And creating a nice flow of breath upwards and downwards. And just welcoming in whatever sensations that you're feeling today. Our bodies have gone through so much just in this one year. So allowing this hour to process those things so that we can get rid of any of those energies or thoughts that don't serve us anymore. And using that empty space in our bodies that we create to fill them with new, happy, positive energy for the new year and new memories, new possibly goals. And of course, celebrating this holiday season together as our yoga family. We'll take some breaths, count in here together shortly. We're going to inhale and then exhale twice the length of as our inhale. So in a moment, we'll inhale to the count of 4 and exhale to the count of 8. So first, preparing the lungs, taking a full breath in and a full breath out, emptying the lungs. And then I'll count for us. We'll inhale to 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale to the count of 8 on your own. And then coming back to your breath naturally. Keeping your eyes still closed or mostly closed. We're going to inhale, sweep the arms out and up overhead, bringing your hands in prayer position up overhead. And then exhaling, bringing your hands down to heart center and bowing the head forward. And go ahead and briefly create an intention either for the end of this year or for the new year. Whatever first thing that comes to mind that your brain just automatically goes to. And slowly we'll start to blink the eyes open, looking down at your fingertips. And then we'll bring our hands to our lap and head to neutral. So first, we're going to take this really gently. We're going to stretch this muscle that's right here in the front of the neck. So it's kind of a hard muscle to stretch. And it kind of connects downward here to your ribs. So you're going to I'm going to start with my right hand and bring it to my left shoulder and just gently press away. And nice and slowly start to turn your head over, looking over to the opposite direction of your shoulder. So looking over to your right, and then rotating your gaze upward. Look towards the ceiling, any amount. And be nice and gentle. Because since you're all professionals here, we know that any pose, the intensity grows over time. Good. We'll gently come back to neutral, hands back to lap, heads back to center. And we'll take the left hand and cross it over to your opposite shoulder and press away, or press the shoulder back slightly. And then slowly turning your head over to the left. And then any amount starting to rotate, looking upward. And breathe. And it might be a pretty subtle stretch, or you might not feel much at all even. Some of us, it might be a really intense stretch. So just be aware of that each body is different here. And just focus on the breath. Because for me, I actually feel it more on my dominant side than my left side. Good. We'll gently come back to center, hands back to your knees, and then we'll draw the chin down to the chest and just letting it fall with gravity and giving the back of the neck a little stretch. And then let's start to just rotate your ear over to your right shoulder so we can stretch the left side of the neck. I'm just letting ear fall to shoulder. And if you want more, you can walk this left arm out to the side, coming to your fingertips if you'd like to. And 3 big breaths. Good. Both hands back to your lap if they're not already. And then we'll rotate your chin slowly down to your center of your chest. And then rotating over ear to opposite shoulder. And optional, you can reach that right arm out to the side, walking the fingertips away from you if you'd like. And 3 big breaths. Awesome. We'll bring hand back to lap, rotate the chin back down to your chest, and we'll roll the shoulders up and back a couple times to bring your head back to neutral. And then let's alternate shoulders. Get all the tension off the shoulders. Lovely. So let's now come to hands and knees. We'll come to our tabletop position. Supporting your all 5 fingers and pads of the fingers equally onto the mat. And adding any padding under the knees if you need anything like that. Let's start with cat-cow. Taking some nice cat-cows on their own. I can feel that tension in my back. So I'm going to take it nice and slow. Take one or two more cat-cows and we'll move on here. Coming back to neutral, let's stretch the wrists out. We'll start to just turn your fingertips out towards the outer edges of your mat, any amount of rotation that feels okay. And just rocking side to side. And if some of you need a little bit more, then you can start to rotate your fingertips back towards you any amount, possibly pointing the fingers towards you or any degree in between that. And you can rock side to side, or you can kind of lean back or stay neutral. You can just customize the stretch here for your wrist. Awesome. We'll rotate the fingertips back to center. And we'll lift and we'll flip so that the backs of the hands come to the mat, and we'll point the fingertips towards each other. And you might lean back onto the heels for less intensity here. And just bringing the backs of the hands to the mat and adding any amount of stretch there, and just being extra gentle with any of these poses, of course. And you might also choose to rock side to side or just be still. Awesome. And you can even out any side if you need to switch sides again or anything. And then we're going to just sink back towards the heels for a moment, and we're going to shake it out. And then we're going to roll in both directions. Help kind of lubricate the joints, keep them nice and healthy. Good. And then let's roll the arms, nice big circles with the arms. Just warming it all up. And then reverse the circle. Good, and shake it out or roll it out. And then we'll walk the hands back forward. Walk the knees back slightly for a modified plank. Shift your gaze and your weight a little bit forward. Engage the core. And then exhale, come all the way down, chaturanga. Inhale, peel the heart forward. Take a nice gentle back bend. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Lengthen the back and the front of the neck. Good. Next, exhale, come down. Take a breath in to come up through table. Exhale, child's pose, 3 breaths. Next breath, come up through table into your modified plank. Take a breath in to prepare. Big breath out, come all the way down, chaturanga. Inhale, peel the heart, any back bends. Take a breath or two. Come down to rest. Breathe in to come up through table and breathe out onto the mat as you sink back into child's pose. 3 breaths. Next breath, come back up through table to come to your modified plank. We'll take that one more time. Shift forward until you can feel your core having to do some work. Take a breath in and breath out, lower down. Inhale, peel the heart forward, any back bend. Press through the tops of the feet. And we'll come down to rest. And while we're here, we'll reach the hands behind your low back, interlace the fingers, and bring your knuckles into the very base of your spine. And any amount, point the elbows up to the ceiling the best you can. Take a breath to prepare. And then we'll inhale, peel the heart forward. We'll keep the feet on the ground. And you can either keep knuckles onto the low back, or you might choose to straighten the arms any amount. And breathe. Feel that rocking of the breath. Awesome. Come down to rest. Reach on back behind you one more time and interlace the fingers the opposite way as before, the one that feels awkward. Prepare by drawing the elbows back as much as you can. Take a breath. Then we'll inhale, peel the heart forward, lift as much as you can, press through the tops of the feet, they stay on the floor. And rock the boat with your breath. Remembering to protect the neck by lengthening not just the front, but the back as well. So wherever the eyes need to go to give your neck a nice position. And then slowly we'll come down to rest. You can stack your palms or rest either side of the face to the mat. And then let's bend both knees and sway them side to side. And we'll plant the palms onto the mat, feet back to the mat. We'll press up through tabletop. And then one more child's pose before we get ready to come to down dog. So taking a couple breaths here in your child's pose, choosing to either bring your hands alongside your body or up alongside your ears. You might even rock the hips gently side to side. And possibly coming back to your intention if you made one a few moments ago. Take one more breath or two and start to set up for down dog. And in this downward dog, we're going to hold it a little bit longer than we normally would. So I'll invite you to rest and take breaks whenever you need to. So when you're ready, setting up and just first taking those movements of pedaling out the heels. Whoa, my calves are tight. This is where you have that realization that everything hurts. So, but don't worry, we all are in pain. So try to relax the head, turn the head yes and no. And of course, rest when you need to. Maybe find some stillness here. And nice big breaths. If it hurts the wrists at all, take breaks, and you can also try to distribute the gravitational pull a little bit more with the pads and tips of the fingers so that the weight isn't all on the wrist. And we'll take a few more rounds of breath. Rest when you need to. And it's just you, your mat, and your breath. Take about 3 more breaths in your down dog. We're going to shift forward on your breath into plank or modified plank. Exhale, shift forward, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, any back bend. And exhale, come down to rest. Breathing in, up and over, and sinking back to child's pose. Breathing into your back, especially the low spine, as well as that space in between your shoulder blades. Maybe even being able to feel the shoulder blades separating with each inhale and drawing back together with each exhale. Take a breath to prepare. And next inhale will come up through table. And you can decide how you want to transition. We're gonna step the right foot forward. So if you'd like to just step it forward, or if you wanna come from down dog and step it forward, either way, right foot will come forward. And we're going to first bring that back knee down. If you'd like here, actually, we're just gonna rock back and forth 3 or 4 times, just nice and gently. Back and forth to your lunge and back to your little half splits. Add anything squishy under the knee if you need to. Good. We'll meet lunging forward so that the hands can frame the foot or come up onto some props for a little less intensity. Left hand, either fingertips plant, palm plants, or hand plants to an object. And when you're ready, we'll twist, reach the right arm up to the sky. If you want more intensity, like we've done in the previous weeks, you can curl the toes under and lift the back knee, or for a little bit less, keep it down. Breathe nice and deeply in between the shoulder blades. Awesome. Next breath, both fingertips come down to frame your foot. If the back knee is not already lifted, lift it up and come down so that you can find warrior one, so that we can rise to face forward. So back heel comes down, both legs are strong, and when you're ready, use your core and help yourself up to warrior one. And I'll back you guys up a little bit so you can see warrior number uno. Awesome. Nice, looks awesome. Looking good. Roll the shoulders down and back, bend and straighten the knee. Let's take 3 breaths here in our nice and still and strong warrior. This is us being warriors for 2021. This is going to be us plowing through 2021. Awesome. Inhale, reach the fingertips upward or maybe slightly back. And then exhale, reach forward, step back into downward dog. We'll inhale, roll forward to plank or knees down. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, heart opener. Exhale to rest. And inhale, come up and over. Exhale, child's pose. Just a breath or 2. And we'll come up, and however you want to transition the left foot forward, if you'd rather come through down dog to get there, or just help it to step forward from here, checking the alignment with the knee and the ankle so that your knee isn't going past the toes. And we'll shift forward and back a few times. Hands touch wherever you can do this without screaming. I don't know if scream yoga is a thing. I know that laughing yoga is a thing. I've seen videos of laughing yoga. I don't know how I feel about it. It makes me kind of uncomfortable. But I get it though. I get the reason of it. Maybe we'll try that one day. We'll meet leaning forward. And we'll get ready to twist. Fingertips or palm. And when you're ready, left arm reaches up to twist. It's up to you if you want to lift the back knee or keep it down. And breathe. Good. We'll reach forward, frame your front foot. If it's not already, lift the back knee and curl the toes under it so that you can rotate the heel down for warrior one. Prepare. And when you're ready, come all the way up, warrior one. Warrior 2021. Good. Find your drishti or your focal point and breathe. Good. Nice. You guys are looking fabulous. Feeling the strength of this pose. Carry that through your intention. And next inhale, reach up or back slightly. And exhale, reach forward. Step it back into downward dog. On your inhale, roll forward to plank or knees down. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, any back bend. Exhale, come up or come down to rest. And then we'll come up and over to child's pose. Nice. In your child's pose, come back to that intention if you made one. Let's add a side body stretch here. So starting to just walk your fingertips over to one side, doesn't matter which side. I'm going to start by walking my hands over to the right and rest the head somewhere. Breathe into that side of the body. Walk your hands back through center and then over to the other side. For me, it's my left. Rest the head. Walking your hands back through center. Take a breath back in your neutral spine. And let's slowly come up and we're going to rotate to seated. So swing the legs out and around so that the feet come in front of you when we come to seated. And we're going to just bring the legs out into a V shape. And you can kind of rock to get the bones here nice and grounded. And we'll spread the toes and flex the feet. And we'll sit nice and tall, reaching fingertips in front of you. And then any amount, start to walk the fingertips forward, maybe just a couple of inches, until you can find that stretch here. Try to spread the toes the best you can. Inhaling to lengthen the low back. Exhaling to let the heart sink your way forward, using arms to support you. Or if you happen to be really flexible today, you might come down to the forearms, but not me. Slowly walk your way up to a full tall seated position, if you're not already. And we'll reach the fingertips behind you, and we'll open the heart and look up slightly. Awesome. We'll come to neutral spine, bring the hands behind the backs of the knees, and guide the weight of your legs back to center. You can shake it out or roll it out. And then let's bend the knees, place the feet onto the floor. We're going to reach straight forward and lengthen the back. And we're going to find our boat pose. So you can take any of the three versions of it. You can stay here and maybe lean back slightly, and that's enough to engage those muscles. Or you could take the modified version of coming up with the knees bent, squeezing the knees together. Or if you're feeling extra fancy, you can straighten the legs here. Let's take 5 breaths. Rest if you need to. Two more breaths. Awesome. We'll plant the feet down if they're not already, and then one vertebrae at a time, we'll roll all the way down to your back. We'll heel toe the feet wide for a moment and just sway the feet side to side, or the knees side to side, I should say. Good. Heel toe the feet back towards, back to neutral, so that the knees are, or the feet are about aligned with the hips, so just hips width distance. And then scoot your heels nice and close towards your body. Rest the arms down along your sides, and we're gonna, when you're ready, come to our back bend for bridge. So always remembering to keep the neck neutral when we lift the hips for the back bend. So finding your drishti or focal point up at the ceiling. And when you're ready, lifting hips for bridge pose. Palms touch the floor, or some of us, we might interlace the fingers beneath us here. And breathe. Take one more big breath. And then lifting the heels away from the mat and rolling slowly down back to the floor. Heel toeing the feet back to the outer edges of the mat And just let the knees come together into like a teepee. Neutralize the spine. Gently pressing the low back into the mat. And then let's sway the knees side to side. And let's give the knees a hug the knees inward, and possibly continuing to rock, or you can be still. But I really like the rocking. It feels good on my back. You could even turn it into circular motions with making the knees into circles here as well, or just side to side. Giving the knees a really tight squeeze, as if you're seeing someone you haven't seen in a long time. You want to squeeze them real tight. And then we'll just turn this into a neutral twist. You could make it a fancier twist if you want by straightening the legs or crossing one over the other. Otherwise, just stack the knees, letting them fall to one side. Arms reach out into a T, and wherever you want to turn your head. Nice, slow, steady breaths. Guide your head back to center, knees back to center, and find your twist. Other side. Twisting out everything that doesn't serve you from this year. It might take a couple more twists for me to get all those things out, but just trying to bring your awareness to your breath and whatever feelings you feel, because there's no right or wrong to how you're feeling in this moment. You don't have to be feeling amazing right now. Unless you do, then that's great. That's what I hope for. Next breath, coming back to center and taking any last other poses. I automatically think of coming to happy baby. So you might also choose happy baby, or any other thing that feels good. As always, I like to give that last moment for you to just follow that intuition, the yogi intuition. And give yourself the last 30 seconds to a minute or so to finish those last movements. And we'll start to get ready for Shavasana in just a moment. Staying hydrated and just getting set up for Shavasana. I'll give you a moment to set up. And for Shavasana, closing the eyes, relaxing all of the muscles in your face, especially around your eyes and your mouth and jaw, your throat. Softening shoulders, arms, hands and fingers. Relieving any anxiety or worry from your chest and your solar plexus and low belly. Relaxing hips, legs, feet and toes. Letting go of any expectations. Welcoming in the breath as well as letting it go. And just passively being aware of this moment as if you are a viewer up from the clouds watching from a third person's perspective. Passively noticing whatever feelings in the body come around. Passively just noticing thoughts without sinking in to each thought. And just being in this state of awareness. Some of those moments might have some silences, and some of the moments might be a little chaotic in your mind. And all you have to do is breathe. Shavasana. Slowly take a deep breath in through your nose or mouth and sending that inhale to the lowest part of your spine. Letting the breath out through nose or mouth. Bringing your awareness back to your breathing. Starting to take little movements, fingers, toes, ankles, wrists, maybe head or neck. Or all four limbs. And slowly rolling yourself over to your favorite side, resting your head somewhere comfortable. And I'll ask you here to, since we always think of something we're grateful for, think of all the things, maybe one or a couple things that you're grateful for this year, even though it's kind of hard. But find those things that come to mind right away. Because even though this year was really hard, there were some silver linings. And give yourself some gratitude as well for just showing up on your mat, even though you have to do it at home on a computer. That's amazing that you still took that time for yourself to practice your yoga, your asana, your meditation. Give yourself a pat on the back. Slowly and gently push your way up to a tall seated position, bringing hands together in prayer position in front of your heart, breathing as usual. And as you breathe, I ask you silently, how does it feel to be you right now in this very moment? Thank you so much for making this year really nice for me. I appreciate you all. Namaste.